Hello students, welcome to today's lecture on data structures. In our previous session, we have discussed about uh, different types of linked lists, starting with single linked list, and then we discussed about doubly linked list, and then circular linked list also we have discussed. And now, having discussed about all the types of linked lists, today we will focus on what are the applications of these linked lists, where these linked lists can be used in data structures. Okay, so actually the list of applications of linked lists is very big. uh, I have mentioned only few of them here. If you look at the list here, the first one is tags, second one is queues, trees, graphs. These four comes under our linear data structures and non-linear data structures, which are part of our syllabus. So we are going to implement these data structures with the help of linked list representation. Okay, and also special applications of linked lists are polynomials can be implemented, sparse matrices can be implemented effectively with the help of linked lists. So in our syllabus, as part of these applications of linked lists, we have these two topics: polynomials and sparse matrices. So today we will focus on how to represent these sparse matrices by using linked lists. Okay. Now let us understand what exactly a sparse matrix is. A sparse matrix is a matrix, any matrix, in which there will be more number of zero values compared to non-zero values. That means majority of the elements of the matrix will be zero. Generally, it is going to be 50%. More than 50% of the values are zeros in a sparse matrix. Right. So, what is the problem with representing this sparse matrix as a two-dimensional array? Generally, we all know that in C language or any programming language, matrices are implemented with the help of two-dimensional array. Then this is a special matrix. Then what is the problem with implementing sparse matrix with arrays? Let us focus on this first. After identifying the problem of implementing the sparse matrix with the help of arrays, then we look for the solutions with the help of linked list representation. Okay, so the problem is like this. If a sparse matrix is represented as a two-dimensional array, then there will be a lot of space wasted to represent the matrix. The reason is this one only. Because sparse matrix contains majority of the values as zeros, if you create a two-dimensional array for storing these useless zeros in that two-dimensional array, then you are wasting that entire memory. Okay. To understand this, let us see an example. Say there is a matrix of size 100 by 100 which can accommodate 10,000 elements, right? 10,000 elements are there, but assume that it is a sparse matrix and has only 10 non-zero values, and all the other 9,990 values are zeros only. So to represent these 10 non-zero values, you are using a 100 by 100 matrix. How much of space is wasting here? Nearly 9,990 locations are empty. No values are there, right? So a lot of space is wasted. Now, uh, if we fill only 10 spaces with the non-zero element and the remaining elements are kept as zero, then what is the space you are wasting here? The memory allocated, assuming that 2 bytes is required for one integer, the memory allocated is 100 into 100 into 2. That is 20,000 bytes will be required for storing the values, uh, 10 non-zero elements, right? Okay, out of which 9,990 into 2, what is it? Nearly 19,980 bytes will be wasted. So that is the biggest problem with implementing this sparse matrix as a two-dimensional array. Therefore, the solution is sparse matrix representations are two types actually. Either you can go with triplet representation, a variation of the two-dimensional array, or you can go with linked representation. Both will be effective and efficient compared to the usual 2D array. Okay, so let us understand these two representations of sparse matrix. First, let us see what is this triplet representation. Triplet means three components. Okay, so in triplet representation, we again make use of three arrays. It's not a two-dimensional array. We are going to make use of three arrays representing one array row numbers, and second array the column numbers, that is column indexes, and the third array for representing the values. Okay, so to understand this, see this example. Say this is the sparse matrix that I want to represent, in which there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows are there, and the number of columns is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 columns are there. So this is a 4 by 5 matrix. And if you look at the values, majority of the values are zeros. Therefore, it is a sparse matrix. Out of this 20 elements, how many elements are non-zero? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only 6 elements are non-zero elements, and the remaining 14 elements are zeros only. So you can see that this is a sparse matrix immediately. Now, how do you represent this sparse matrix in the form of a triplet? This is a triplet representation which contains three arrays: row, column, and value. Row shows the index of row, column shows the index of column. This combination 0, 2 represents the non-zero value 3. So if you look at the matrix, 0th row and second column, 0, 1, 2, this is second column. In 0th row, second column, we have this value. Okay, in 0th row, second column, we have value 3. That is the information we are storing into this triplet. And what is the next value? It is 4, where it is present in 0th row, 5th column. 0th row, 5th column. That is, if you begin the index at 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4th. The column with index 4. So row 0, column 4 contains this value. Okay, and row 1, column 2. Row 1, column 2 means 0, 1, 2. This is the column 2. So column 2 contains a value 5. Similarly, row 1, column 3 contains 7. You can see it here. And then no values are there in the third row, that is indexed by 2. Now row index 3, right? I think you all know how indexes are defined. The first row's index is 0, second row index is 1, third row index is 2, fourth row index is 3. So the value is at 3, 1, right? So 3, 1. Row index is 3, column index is 1. There you have a value 2. And row index is 3, column index is 3. 3 by 3. Right? That is index is 2. 0, 1, 2. What is the value there? It is 6. Okay. You can write the indexes on top of this: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3. If you write the indexes on top of this, then it will be easier for you to understand how it is represented. Just we are representing the values, the non-zero values into the triplet based on where they are present. So the information about the indexes, row index and column index, where a non-zero value is present, this information is stored in the form of a triplet. Okay, so this is the first way to represent a sparse matrix, which is, if you observe, what is the time, what is the space required here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements. 6 into 2, 12, plus 12, plus 12. Just 36 bytes are required for storing this information. Otherwise, if you represent it as a two-dimensional array, how much space is required? 4 by 5 matrix it is. So 20 elements, 20 into 2, 40 bytes are required. So you saved 8 bytes of memory by using a triplet representation. Okay. And coming to the second kind of representation, we can represent a sparse matrix with the help of a linked list also. If you represent this in the form of a linked list, then you require two types of nodes. One is header node and the other one is element node. Where header node contains three fields. Header node contains three fields. One is index value and two pointers. This is index value and integer. This is down is a pointer, right is a pointer. A pointer pointing to the next node on right side. Down is a pointer pointing to the next node towards down. Okay. And other kind of node is element node. Element node contains 5 fields. You need to understand this. There are 5 fields now. Row, column value are integer values. Row represents the row index. Column represents the column index. Value represents the value at this position. And there are two pointers. This pointer is either down pointer or up pointer. You can use any name here. And the other one is right pointer. So two types of nodes will be used in linked list representation of sparse matrix: header node and element node. Header node contains 3 fields. Element node contains 5 fields. With the help of these two types of nodes, we can represent the sparse matrix as a linked list. Let us see how it can be represented. Now, assume that same matrix which we saw in the previous example, it's a 4 by 5 matrix. There are 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay. Actually, it's not there. So this will represent it's not visible properly. So I will explain it. If you consider any sparse matrix, then let us say the size of the sparse matrix is, listen carefully, this is not clear, the picture is not clear. So listen to my explanation carefully so that you will understand what exactly it is there. See, forget about this first node, just leave it. We'll talk about this node later. Count these number of nodes. These act as header nodes because they contain only 3 fields. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 header nodes are there to represent columns. So these are columns. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 header nodes are there to represent rows. So these 5 represent rows. Okay. Index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. These are column indexes. And these nodes represent index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as row indexes. Okay. Of course, in linked list, there will be no indexes, but we assume like that so that we build this linked list for storing the sparse matrix values, the non-zero values, based on this index assumptions. So for example, observe this link. There is a downlink from here and here. So this intersection represents row number, row index 2, 0, 1, 2. This is row index 2 and column index 0. That means this represents an element which is at the position 2, 0 in sparse matrix, and we specify what is the value there. Okay, so this node represents row number 2, that is row index 2, column index 0, and the value present in that position of sparse matrix. Similarly, you need to write these element nodes wherever you have a non-zero element. Okay, this node represents indexes row index 1, column index 1. That means there is an element at 1 comma 1. Okay, so that will be represented here. Similarly, this one represents the row index 4 and column index 2, 0, 1, 2. So 4 comma 2, 4 comma 2 and the corresponding value. Okay. Similarly, this node represents row index 2, column index 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. So 2 comma 3 and the value at that position in sparse matrix. So on like that. Can you identify this? It is in 0th row and which column? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth column. 0th row, fourth column. And the corresponding value at this position. Okay. And so on. And in a particular row, let us observe this. In a particular row, if you have multiple elements, then the right pointer will come into picture. Okay, because this row contains two elements here. This node has a link to the next node of the same row. So all the element nodes in a particular row are connected with this right pointer. Okay, and from the last element node in any particular row, there will be a link provided back to the corresponding header node. If you observe, there is always a back link connected to the header node. Everywhere, from every row, the last node's next pointer is connected to the header node. This means that what kind of linked list it is? What kind of linked list it is? If you connect the last node's next pointer to the first node, then the corresponding linked list is a circular linked list. So this is a circular linked list representation for the sparse matrix. And now coming back to this starting node, this is a special node. This is actually a special node which is used to represent the abstract information of the sparse matrix. What is that abstract information? It tells about the number of rows and the number of columns. Number of rows and number of columns in the sparse matrix. So in this case, it is 5 rows and 6 columns. Okay, 5 rows and 6 columns. So that is about the linked list representation of sparse matrices. And here is a task for you. I'm giving you a 5 by 5 sparse matrix. 5 by 5 sparse matrix. Row 0 contains one non-zero element. Row 1 contains two non-zero elements. Row 2 contains one non-zero. Row 3 contains one non-zero. And row 4 contains one non-zero. And the task is all of you represent this sparse matrix by using this linked list representation. Okay, so all of you try this and practice this example. Okay, so that's all for today, and there are many other applications, and as part of our syllabus we have another application of linked list, which is polynomial representation, which we'll discuss in the next class. So we'll be discussing about how polynomials will be represented, and also we write the algorithms for performing operations on the polynomials, such as addition of given two polynomials, subtraction of two polynomials, and also we focus on multiplication of given two polynomials. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you all. See you again in our next session.